Hello there guys and welcome back. A little while ago I made a video criticizing the first episode of the Fallout TV show on Amazon, and it didn't go super well. After seeing a lot of comments that have defended the show and criticized me, I've come to a revelation. Most people just don't know what the difference is between enjoyment and actual quality, or how to separate the two concepts. If you take a look at the most upvoted comment in the comment section, this is what it says. So even if we assume he watched the video at all, which I doubt most comments did, his only argument was that it was fun. Despite picking apart the characters, plot, world building, and lore inconsistencies, the most popular argument made is that it's fun. Taking a look at another comment, one that tries to be a little bit more constructive, it says that I come across as though I seem to hate that people are enjoying an all-around fun show, but if you paid attention to the opening of the video, you'll know I said otherwise, and that I'm glad that you did, even though it has a lot of problems. My issue is that people have been giving the show 8, 9, or even 10 out of 10s, when the show has so many issues, even obvious ones, but they give it a pass just because they say it's fun, which in of itself is not a defense. That is why we're here today. So take out your notes and let's discuss the difference between subjective enjoyment and objective quality. I want to start off by the whole enjoyment aspect first. One comment that tried to be more constructive claims that I seem as though I was annoyed that people enjoy an all-around fun show, but as I just said in the intro, if you pay attention to the opening of that video, you will know that's not the case. And if there is something I said or implied that gave you that impression, I would like to know, but I genuinely can't think of any example off the top of my head. The thing that people need to realize is that just because you enjoy something, it doesn't mean that that product is good or well written. If you say or think, I liked it, so that must mean it's good, then that's not an argument. I'm sorry, but it's not. What you enjoy is entirely separate from what's actually good. It's great if you do enjoy it, but it's not what we're discussing here, because that'll only go so far. If we all just say, well, I liked it because it was fun, well, I didn't like it because it was boring, that isn't going anywhere. If we're going to get anywhere by discussing the media, then we have to go deeper than that. And saying that it's fun isn't a counter to actual genuine criticism. You can personally find something fun for a variety of reasons, particularly personal ones. Let me give a few examples, as you can already see on the thumbnail. I love movies such as The Room and Fateful Findings, because those movies are so bad in every conceivable way to the point where they're hilarious. If you want something that isn't completely bottom of the barrel, let's take Crank. I love the hell out of that movie, because it knows it's not high art and it plays into that. It's like one of the most retarded movies I've ever seen, but it knows that and it gives you something that you should expect from a movie of that title. Or movies that aren't well written or made, such as the Ghost Rider movies, or even the Resident Evil movies, except the final chapter, because that movie can go suck a dick. But anyway, those movies are also really fun, even if they aren't exactly faithful to the source material they're based off of, but they're a fun time, partially because of how bad they are. Plus, they also tend to have a lot of dumb action, which also contributes to them being enjoyable. My friends love most of the Michael Bay Transformers movies, especially the first 3, and they're some of the most notable bad examples of bad movies, but that's my point. You can enjoy anything for a variety of reasons that have nothing to do with actual quality. I can see why so many people can enjoy the Fallout show. It is superficially faithful to the franchise with all the iconography and references to the games, as well as being full of jokes and action scenes, but that doesn't mean that it's good. With all the issues that it has, which I point out in the first episode alone, it demonstrates that it's not good, whether or not it's part of the games. Being connected to them just makes it worse. People say I went in with the wrong mindset, that I was being pedantic and nitpicking stuff. I came in wanting to hate it. I want to take enjoyment away, etc., etc. The truth is, I wanted it to be good, but for the most part, that wasn't the case. I found the issues too big and numerous to really enjoy it myself, but people don't seem to realize that it works both ways. Apparently they're well to clap like seals at the show, while I can't criticize it. The same thing happened to my friend's video, where he responded to someone claiming that Fallout 3 is better than New Vegas. He got a bombardment of comments claiming it was just his opinion and that subjectivity was implied and all of that, even though that video tried to make objective arguments as to why he believes his stance. So it's entirely okay to praise something, but it's toxic hatred when you criticize it, which in of itself is honestly a toxic mindset used to shut down criticism. When you say something's better than the other, you're trying to make an objective argument. But if you were to say you like something better, then that's a subjective one. Being objective isn't about making your opinions facts like what some people claim. It's about trying to assess whether something is of quality. You can argue with someone who claims something is bad, if you have actual counters and citations for it. While some of the arguments are still coping, at least they tried, even though some of them are just headcanon. But I respect them more than ones who made the arguments that I've listed above, as well as other ingenious ones, such as how Bethesda owns the franchise for years now, so I have to get over it. Even if you say anything else, such as Disney owning Star Wars or 343 being in charge of Halo, people will crucify you for making those brain-dead statements. Bethesda is just allowed a free pass because they've owned Fallout for longer than the original creators, and most people were first introduced to the series through those games. Not as much of the other two examples, but we're getting there with time, which is unfortunate. But that's why criticism should be welcomed and challenged, not outright dismissed and ignored. By making criticism, you can make a difference whether a franchise hasn't been doing well and can turn the tide in the favors of those series. Such as like what happened with Sonic, both with the games and what happened with the first movie due to Sonic's design being radically changed due to backlash. Or with Resident Evil due to 6 being a game that most people didn't like, which is how we got 7 and all the games that came afterwards, which redeemed the franchise to where people are excited for the upcoming games. If we just give a free pass to everything, then that's going to result in more bad products that people don't like. If we give a free pass to the Acolyte, for example, like how some people are doing that now, that'll just result in more shows like that. Sure, while those criticisms can fall on deaf ears, it's better than try than to not try at all. If they do just keep ignoring criticism, that'll result in diminishing returns like what's been happening with the current MCU. The DCEU faced criticism ever since it first started, and the last several movies bombed to the people not liking those movies for valid reasons, and as a result, it fizzled out completely and is being rebooted with those criticisms in mind. If we want Fallout to do better, we need to be more vocal about how Bethesda has poisoned the well for many people that think that Fallout is just this black comedy looter shooter with light RPG mechanics, basically a discount Borderlands. But even with something like 76, they still managed to turn that game into a success, especially with the shills that think that game is good now, even though it isn't. But considering what happened with Starfield, it seems as though that their luck is running out. Back to the show, if we want the show to be good, we should be more open about criticizing it, and that the mere act of criticism isn't toxic to begin with. It can be, when it's done right, it can also be a great thing. People, on average, appreciate good writing and storytelling. New Vegas is a good example of that. Even if the graphics aren't the best, even for its time, it's touted as being the best Fallout game and one of the best RPGs of all time. And all the examples of quality I have in my thumbnail are also lauded for being great as well. If everyone had the same mindset as what the Fallout show fans have, that criticism is inherently bad, then almost nothing will be good because creators have no reason to try and do better. And if the criticism is invalid, then we can simply refute it as mentioned earlier. I still have the intention to criticize the rest of the show, and so going this moment forward, I don't want to hear any of the same non-arguments that I've seen in my first video. If you have nothing to say that isn't some non-cope counter to my point, just don't bother saying anything at all. And if you're really so concerned about my videos taking away your enjoyment away from the show, I have a suggestion. I know I probably shouldn't say this, but I'm going to. You don't have to watch them. This isn't a movie or a game that I'm selling. It's a YouTube video that's out for free, especially from a small channel, so I'm pretty much no loss if you don't want to watch them, and that's totally fine. So for anyone that claims I'm going out of my way to take away enjoyment, that's the ultimate example that refutes that. And I have no problem if you enjoy it, just like I don't have a problem if you enjoy other stuff I criticize, such as the Star Wars sequels, the Snyder DC movies, or anything else. But I'm not going to take it easy on the show just because it has its fans, and I hope I get held to the same standard. Well, that was a nice short video essay. I believe this video was warranted to the reception of my last video. I hope this closes several of the non-defenses I've seen for this overrated as ball show. Now I will get back to the series sooner or later. I'm not sure when exactly, but I'll try to get there in due time, especially since I do have a lot planned. Well, that's all for now, and I'll see you next time.